Well, good afternoon and welcome to the West Ham Daily. Thanks for joining me on a, what is it, Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon? It's Wednesday, isn't it? We'll try and bring you a few more dailies because I know you've missed them. And this isn't an international roundup. It's more about sort of looking forward to Saturday's game against Wolves and kind of looking at the one or two players that have been playing international football over the past sort of week and a half or so. International football gets in the way, doesn't it, of real football? But there you go. England scoring 15 goals against the massive Albania and San Marino. That's what it's all about, isn't it? But anyway, this is more about sort of players and some of the stories that have been breaking out over the last few days. All of a sudden players have gone missing from their national teams, etc., and all the speculation surrounding them. It kind of started at the weekend, didn't it, when Pablo Fornals was not included in the Spanish team. He wasn't even on the bench, and people were starting to speculate. Oh my God, he's injured. That's it. That's the start of our bad run. Not only have we got Ogbonna out injured, but now we've got players injured who are in international duty. But thankfully, what we've understand is, and thank you to Happy Hammerette who told me this, and I hope it's correct because I've not read anything contrary to this, is that he was left out because his wife was expecting a baby at the weekend. And if that's happened, because I still haven't seen anything, congratulations to you, Mr. Fornals, on the arrival of the new hammer. He's going to be raised in London. He's going to be a West Ham player when he grows up and all that, because you all love West Ham, don't you? So that was the first thing that sort of came out, that potentially Pablo Fornals might have had an injury. And then, of course, in the game that the Czech Republic played yesterday, there was no sign of this man. Well, there was. He was on the bench. Thomas Soucek was on the bench, and despite the Czech Republic using up to five of their or all five of their substitutes, Soucek didn't come on. So then, of course, there's speculation there. Here we go. Thomas Soucek is now injured, etc., etc. Now it's an interesting one because Czech Republic needed to win their game in order to, get through to the World Cup the World Cup next season, but they kind of stumbled. I think they drew 2-2, and now they're in playoffs or something, unseeded team in playoffs, which is quite a risky thing for them. But and despite that, Thomas Soucek didn't come off the bench. Again, speculation that he's injured, but there's been an announcement today that he's not injured. He's absolutely fine, and he should be ready for the game against Wolves as well. So that's two players that we were all kind of worried about, playing too many games on international duty. Fornals and Soucek looking to be fresh and ready for the game on Saturday. And then, of course, before all that, Declan Rice, he withdrew from the England team. The England team that really were going to struggle without him, and because of illness. But we've also been led to believe that even Declan is going to be absolutely fine for the game. So it's all looking well, isn't it? And then we look at other players that we have concerns about. Saeed Benrahma, he was used as a kind of a late sub in their African Cup of Nations or whatever it is, their qualifier for the World Cup as well. So in a way, he's been used quite sparingly too. Even though he started the first game for Algeria, he only came on as a sub, and I think they won their game as well. Believe me, I've not been. I've got some details, so I'll look up the specifics in a minute. But it's just a sort of a brief run through that it's good that all of a sudden, hello Sushi, what do you want? There's food over there. Go on. There you go. All of a sudden, it's looking good for us. We've got Declan, he's had a rest. Soucek, he's not played in the last Czech Republic game. Benrahma was only used as a sub in the game recently. Fornals hasn't played either, so they're kind of fresh, aren't they? I think that's a really good thing. Now, a player that did play the whole 90 minutes was Kurt Zuma for France in their game. Got through unscathed, but that's fine. Got through 90 minutes, kept him. I think. All right, that's okay. Kral came on as a sub for the Czech Republic, so again, he's fresh. He's back from injury or back from his COVID and etc. So that's great. So that's all good. So how did these teams do? Let's just give you a bit of an update. Let's see if I can find the information for you and tell you how they all did. I'll tell you about the statement in a minute. So, international stars. Most of them enjoyed a successful Tuesday evening in the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifying campaigns. As I've just mentioned, Kurt Zuma completed an unbeaten Group D campaign. They're already in the Qatar finals anyway, but they had a 2-0 comfortable win against Finland. Alphonse Areola didn't play. Now, the result opened up the door for another West Ham player, Andrei Yarmolenko, and the Ukraine to also complete an unbeaten 8-match group stage and snatch a playoff place, courtesy of their 2-0 win against Bosnia and Herzegovina. The Ukraine, as I've just mentioned, will join the Czech Republic in the playoffs. Now, they completed their game, as I've just mentioned, in the 2-0 win over Estonia that Soucek didn't play in. But Vladimir Coufal was captain of the Czech Republic team. Alex Kral did start rather than being a sub. So the Czechs, it's what I mentioned about Thomas Soucek not playing. They finished third in their group behind Belgium and Wales. They finished they drew 1-1. And there's already people saying that they did that deliberately so they'll both get through. It's interesting that they didn't play Soucek, but we have been told, like I say, that he's absolutely fine and he'll be ready for the game on Saturday. Who else have we got? Saeed Benrahma, as I've just mentioned. Algeria only needed a point in their final second round group tie, and they drew 2-2 with Burkina Faso. And now they reached the third round of the CAF qualifying. I don't know how it all works out. And they'll face either Tunisia, Nigeria, Cameroon, Mali, Egypt, Ghana, Senegal, Morocco, or Arthur Masuaku's DR Congo in that qualifying round. And of course, we've got to, cannot forget one player who played and who scored his second goal in three appearances, and that was dear old Antonio against America. I've got a little treat for you. So here we go. I'll probably get banned for this, but anyway.
Who can win their 1v1 duels, who can cover ground.
Antonio from distance. Antonio with a blast from range to level it for Jamaica.
What a goal, eh? I mean, seriously, that was some goal. We'd like to see it again. But have a look at have a look at the player after the goal went in.
Who can win their 1v1 duels, who can cover ground.
Antonio from distance. Antonio with a blast from range to level it.
I love that. Their number 21 went to blast it back in and fell over. Standards of international football, people. Standards of international football. But I mean, what a goal! Great. He's in form. He scored his second goal for Jamaica in 3 appearances. Fantastic. The first goal he scored the other day, he took it from the halfway line, ran half the pitch, and dinked it over the keeper. And then he did that. I mean, but what state is he going to be in when he gets back to England? That's the thing that's the biggest concern of all. Is he actually going to actually start against Wolves at the weekend? I really don't know. I'm just a little bit concerned, because of all the mileage he's put in order to play for Jamaica. Fantastic for him. Of course, it is. It's great that every footballer deserves to play national football. He's doing really well out of it, etc. But what state is he going to be in when he finally gets back? All the jet lag and so on. Now he should be back. I would imagine. He played yesterday. I would imagine he'll be back sometime today. So one could argue he's got Thursday and Friday to recover and travel up with the team to Wolves on Friday night, maybe. And will he be? I mean, fingers crossed. But I think the good thing about it is that we've got a plethora of other players. You know, Vlasic has played for Croatia, but you know he'll be fit. Well, he's back fit as well. Yarmolenko clearly fit as well. Lanzini has not gone on international duty, so they're the players on the sidelines that could sort of maybe step in if need be. And then, of course, as I've already mentioned, Benrahma. He's, you know, he'll be fresh because he's only played something like a game and a half. Bowen obviously is not on international duty because he's really not good enough, despite the fact that so many players have dropped out of the England team over the last week and a half, and yet, you know. Southgate still didn't see fit to call Bowen up. Well, his loss, not ours. So Bowen will be fit as well. Benrahma, I've said, Fornals will be fit as well. Soucek will be fit. Declan will be fit. Actually, this international break on the whole has not been too bad, you know, for our players. You know, some players have got a run out, which is great. Keep them fresh, keep them fit. None of them have been injured. The only concern, as I've said, really, you know, out of all of them is dear old Antonio. What state? Don't be surprised if you see him, if he does start the game. Don't be surprised if you see him have quite a lackluster game against Wolves at the weekend. But because of the flights, you know, 11,000. I don't know how many miles. I thought it was 11,000. Someone else said 17,000. Let's go in between and say he did 14,000 miles, or he would have done by the time he returns to England. That's an awful lot of mileage in a week and a half or so. So he's the only one I've got a concern about, and hopefully he'll be okay to even if it's not to start, he'll be okay to be on the subs bench. So what else have we got for you? Well, why don't we see who's in the chat before we say goodbye, because we always want to we don't want these to go on and on and on and on. Thank you, Father Snowman. The Czechs won 2-0. Did they win? What did I say? I did say that. Yeah. Sharky, hello, mate. They missed out on the playoffs. Wales finished in second place. The Czech Republic, absolutely. Good afternoon to you, Robert. How come there is no news on Ogbonna? Well, this is it. Moyes is keeping a lid on it, and I guess rightly so. And I think it could be. What's happened in the past with injuries is that Moyes has kept his mouth shut. He hasn't said much about them. All of a sudden, you see the player turning up for a game. Now, I think, as I said before, the worst case scenario for Ogbonna, he could be out for up to 9 months to a year. If he needs surgery, the best case scenario, he might be out for a couple of months. And I like the fact that Moyes is keeping a lid on it. I think it's not a bad thing, you know, but so we can just go and speculate. I'm sure and in the know will tell you he's going to be out for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Someone else going to tell you 6 months, 7 months. I don't know, you know, until we actually see some official news, Robert. I don't know, and I wouldn't like to what my speculation is, if he doesn't need surgery, he'll be out for about 2 months. If he does need surgery, he could be out anything from 9 months to a year. Anything in between? Possibly, but it'd be probably one of the two extremes, either sooner back or later back. Good afternoon to you, Adam. Czechs had already qualified for the playoffs. I didn't know that, mate. I thought maybe. Right. Well, I didn't know that, but thank you for confirming. Good afternoon to you, Cyber. Is Antonio back? Well, I think you've just heard what I've said. Antonio is the new Messi with that goal. This video will be deleted, I'm sure of it, because I've shown that snapshot. Robert, you haven't mentioned Antonio. I just have. At last, James Bond, what a goal! But from outside, yeah, from the outside. And you know, one of the statistics of Antonio is he's scored every West Ham goal in the box. Maybe he's just trying to prove a point that he can do it outside. Antonio, mate, if you do nothing else on Saturday against Wolves, get the ball in roughly about the same area of the field, whack it. Let's be honest, though, the keeper, you know, positioning, hands up, flailing, you know, not the best keeper in the world, but nonetheless, it was a stunning strike. No offense to the national team. It's a pub. There you go. Sharky, Czech Republic finished third. They haven't made the playoffs. They have made, I believe they have. Well, that's what I've got in front of me. So let me just double check that. Let me just go and see roundup. hang on a minute. Let me just go, because this is from the West Ham official website. So I'm going to go back into the roundup. There we go. And I'm going to read it out again. So Kurt Zuma, blah, blah, blah. Ukraine lost. The Czechs finished third in their group behind Belgium and Wales, who drew 1-1, but had already secured their playoff place after winning their UEFA Nations League group. They won the UEFA Nations League group. So they're already in the playoff, but not through the World Cup qualifiers. Now, I didn't know that. UEFA Nations League. I thought that was just a waste of time friendly. Anyway, Adam Cook. Antonio will get a day's rest and be ready for Wolves. Yeah, plenty of time. No, he didn't. I did say that. Antonio played the last 15 minutes. Now, I didn't know that either, because this statement doesn't say anything about that. Let's read down. That's the other. So I'm going to talk about sanctions in a minute. Last but no least, Mikel Antonio scored again for Jamaica in their CONCACAF third round home draw with the United States on Tuesday evening. Fresh from scoring from his first international goal, blah, blah, blah. See, I didn't know he came on as a sub, so thank you for that. I really appreciate that. See, you lot, you need to give me the story so I can do it properly. Cyber, why didn't Pinnock go to Jamaica? I don't know. This isn't a Brentford site, so why don't you go and watch a Brentford channel, and they might be able to tell you. Pulisic went to the USA. Did he now? Good afternoon to you, Robin. How are you, mate? Thank you for joining. Darren. Antonio is it's not only for travel time, it's rehydration, dehydration, probably a lower standard pitch. What a goal. Yeah, you can see from that pitch it wasn't the best. Martin, Stefan played in goal for Manchester City, so not a pub team. Got what? There you go. Now, I didn't know that either. Stefan, I didn't really know that either. He still was no good for that goal. And Robert says again, we interrupt this program with an important announcement. West Ham are massive. Thank you for that, Robert. Much appreciated. We got anything else? Oh, God, I didn't scroll up all the way to the top. Good evening. Good afternoon to you, Udaraja. I hope that pronounced that right. Soucek was rested. He'll be available for Wolves. Robert says we're massive. Good evening. I keep saying good evening, Darren. Good afternoon to you. Well, you know who it is now. I'm always late. We interrupt this program. Good afternoon, Peter. Where did all that go? Stell Anton, who? Oh, what about him? Yeah, never mind about him. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. No, well, I think I've explained that. I didn't realise that they won their playoff place from the Nations League thingy. So there you go. What else have we got? Cyber, yeah, it was on the bench yesterday and played versus Mick Snowman. Still was some news for you. Africa Cup, we lose Masuaku and Benny. Liverpool there, front two for a month as well. Yeah, Masuaku. Does that matter so much? But Ben Rama, I think that's why maybe a certain, I don't know, a certain someone from Man United might come in. But anyway, right, let's leave you with the statement and just a clarification on what's happened with our fans being banned from Europa League. Now, when I did the story the other day, people were saying to me in chat, there was no fighting. UEFA are talking rubbish, etc., and it's all unfair, and we're being picked on, and so on and so forth. And what I said in that show was, by the way, that the trouble that was caused by the Vienna fans at the London Stadium meant that they got a ban from travelling to Zagreb, which stands. So let's just clear things up. There is no sort of conspiracy theory, etc. What UEFA are doing, like it or not, if fans misbehave in away games in Europe, then their fans will be penalised. And the Vienna fans aren't able to travel to the Zagreb game. Now, people are saying there was no trouble at Genk. Well, unfortunately, there was. Now, what I've been told is that UEFA can't do anything about any trouble away from the stadium, and apparently in some parts of the Belgian Republic, the Belgian capital, there was some trouble, etc. But also, from our understanding, the reason why there is a ban is because about 150 West Ham fans without tickets stormed the turnstiles and got in. And that's the reason why. Now, West Ham United came out with a statement saying They confirm that the club has reluctantly accepted the sanctions from UEFA in relation to the Europa League game away fixture between Genk and West Ham on the 4th of November. And they have also confirmed it means our supporters will regrettably not be permitted to travel for our Europa League away game against Rapid Vienna on the 25th. The club's acceptance of the sanctions follows receipt of the written reasons for UEFA's controls, ethics, and disciplinary body relating to the incident which has led West Ham supporters being unable to attend the fixture in Vienna. Despite the club's robust processes around our own security and operations in support of our ticketed fans who travel to Genk, evidence has been presented to confirm that a small number of ticketless individuals caused disturbances and illegally gained entrance to Genk Stadium. West Ham United condemn the behaviour of this group of individuals, and we are working to identify them following their actions, which have now ultimately led to our supporters, the vast majority of whom behaved impeccably in Belgium, being punished and resulting in David Moyes' team being forced to play in Austria without the backing of the club's fans, whose loyal and passionate supporters spurred the West Ham team on during an unbeaten opening 4-game run in Europa League. Now, while the club accepts the sanctions, we also wish to place on record our disappointment at the extremely short notice of the measures, which were received 11 days after the fixture in Genk. So one thing that UEFA could have done is they could have done this a lot sooner. They didn't have to leave it up until this moment. Why is my battery running low? Am I not connected? Right, excuse me, people. Yeah, I'm not connected. Before you lose me completely, I've just had to plug myself back in. So while the club accepts the sanctions, which we also wish to place on record our disappointment at the extremely short notice of the measures, which were received 11 days after the Genk fixture, just over a week ahead of the Rapid game. So UEFA could have done this sooner. They probably would have made their minds up a lot sooner, and it would have been better to have made this announcement of sanctions earlier, much earlier than just this week. And it has sadly impacted on supporters who have booked travel, return travel, and accommodation in Austria. The club has to consider these supporters and the impact on them, both from the fixture and the future fixtures, etc. Supporters who have already purchased a ticket for the game against Vienna will automatically receive a refund, so you'll get money back for that. Now, and any supporters who haven't received a refund need to contact the ticket office. Now, the one thing is, what about the supporters who have paid for accommodation, etc.? I said it the other day, and someone else suggested it in the chat. Use your if you're insured, use your insurance companies. One of my friends, he's been able to get a voucher to travel again, to use his plane ticket for another time, and there are some hotels that allow last minute cancellations. So check it out. You might get some money back, you might not, or you might get at least a voucher or whatever. It's absolutely worth checking that out, to try and get some recompense. But in all honesty, the people that you've got to blame for this are the 150 or so fans that stormed the gates at Genk. That's the bottom line. Let's not sugarcoat this. It's not the club's fault. And this is probably why now you see why West Ham United have been so stringent in the way that they've been managing tickets. You have to go and collect your ticket, show your passport, make sure that you demonstrate, you prove who you are, that the ticket belongs to you, etc. You can't account for 150 fans turning up and storming the gates, the turnstiles. That's really unfortunate. So I don't care how you want to sugarcoat this. The people to blame, I'm afraid, are those 150 fans. They're the ones that have seen, have paid put to people not being able to travel to Austria to watch their team play. Now, I know unofficially there are an awful lot of fans that have bought tickets in the neutral zone of the Vienna game. Now, there's a lot of people that are still going out there. I'm worried. That extremely worries me, because if there's any further crowd trouble, and I'm not suggesting that there will be, but if there is any crowd trouble, what could happen next for the next West Ham game? How long have we effing well waited for, to have something like this happening at West Ham in Europe, etc., etc. And I suggested on my weekly show on Monday night that the number of sanctions could, it be another fine. If there's crowd trouble at Vienna, could be another fine. It could mean the banning again of fans travelling to our next game, our knockout stage game, and it could also mean West Ham United having to play a game behind closed doors, a home game behind closed doors. Do we really want that? Do we really want to give UEFA the ammunition to sort of do that to us? You can't account for people's stupidity. You can't account for people going out and doing what they want to do. And I just hope that if West Ham fans decide to still travel to Vienna because they got tickets in the neutral zone, I'm sure the vast majority of them are good fans. They'll abide. That they'll go out and cheer their team. Go home happy when we win and all that sort of stuff. But you can't account for people misbehaving, unfortunately. And there seems to be a small band of fans that just want to do that. They don't have tickets. They want to storm the turnstiles. They want to do this. They want to cause trouble in the city centres, etc. What do you do now? I know other fans are going to go, well, being provoked, provoked, and you got to retaliate. No, you fucking don't. You don't have to retaliate. You can actually go turn the other cheek. I know it's not the West Ham thing. These colours don't run and all that sort of stuff. But goodness me, who will suffer in the long run are the fans that get legitimate tickets and the West Ham United themselves, the players. And what will happen if it continues? Get kicked out of the competition? Well, great job, well done. Right, who else we got in here? Hello, Hammerette. How are you? Nice to see you. I hope you're well. Adam, we will need to replacements for the Africa. Yeah, we mentioned that. So we've got a couple of players that can step in. James, is it possible to name shame banners? Well, they're working on it. They're working on identifying them. And if they do find out who they are, then yeah, put them on a, I mean, what happens to England fans when they've caused trouble abroad? They have their passport, they used to have their passports taken away before any travel abroad. So maybe that's what we got to do. Cyber, I'm not going to go, guys. TC, okay. Oh, you're going to go. Well, you take care, mate. Sharky, some people don't know how to behave. It ruins it for everyone else, unfortunately. Anyone who brings our club into disrepute, yeah. Happy Hammer. Unfortunately, I know people that are still going. It won't end well over there. I'm worried. I'm worried that it won't end well. I'm very well, Gazza. I hope you are too. Jordan, would anyone take Marshall at West Ham? No. Too expensive and too moody. Adam, any fan who brings our club into trouble should be banned. We don't want idiots at our club. But I'm afraid not just West Ham. Let's be honest. They exist for every club. Who else we got? Agree. Thank you, mate. Hammerette Rapid have sold loads of tickets in Zone 5 to neutral, not just Zone 5. Trust me, they have sold tickets, not just in Zone 5. I could have bought a ticket. I was umming and ahhing whether to go or not, and I could find a ticket up to about a week or so ago. I could find a ticket in almost any part of the Rapid Vienna Stadium. I know some people have bought a ticket in the stand behind the goal where all the ultra fans are. There you go. Acid joke. Good afternoon to you. Brady can't appeal against the punishment, but she could appeal against the timing. Yeah, I've mentioned that. With so many already having spent big on flights, accommodation, those who have tickets independently. Yeah, absolutely, completely agree on that. Andrew, come too far to be let down by the minority. I totally agree, and I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't get silly. Zone 5, whatever. Yeah, but there are other zones. Trust me, even closer to the ultras. Good afternoon to you, mate. I hope you're well. Finally, thank you for that. Much appreciated. I hope you're well, Len. I'll chat to you later, mate. All right, people. That's your lot. 29 minutes. I got to go back to work. I'll do just this one more, Samuel, because it's quite a long one. And thank you for your comment. Thoughts on the fixture schedule around New Year's World Cup? Looks like we'll need to fill our squad for next season. Yeah, because actually, let's just do one more snippet for you. One more snippet if I can find it. Go. There we go. No, not that one. I don't want that one. So bear with me, people. I'll find it in a minute. Damn it! You can never find it when you want it. Oh, how annoying! Because there's a story about having up to 12 players. Let's get rid of that crap. West Ham, yeah, here we go. West Ham face a nightmare Premier League scenario with 12 players on the brink of a World Cup dream. So, who are the 12? Well, yeah, I've already mentioned them, haven't I? Groups, blah, blah, blah. So, Declan, blah, blah, blah. Talked about Fornals. He's already there. Saeed Benrahma, yeah, talked about that. He was second half sub, so he could be going there. The three Czech players, already mentioned them. They're in the playoffs, and I didn't realise through the Nations League thingy or whatever you call it. Andre, I never played for West Ham. Yarmolenko, of course, plays brilliantly for the Ukraine, and he could be on his way. Arthur, King Arthur, could also be on it, quite possibly be on his way to the World Cup next season as well through the playoffs. Mikel Antonio, I don't think they're doing that well, Jamaica, aren't they? But depending on what might happen, he might be in the playoffs as well. There you go. I mentioned them all anyway, so I'm not even bothered looking for that snippet because I'd already done it. That's your lot. That is your lot. I'll be back. I don't know when. I'll try and be back at some stage. But if you haven't watched the West Ham Weekly on Monday night, I did talk about. Was it Monday? God. Or was it last week's show? I talked about the World Cups and about them being next this December, and I thought it was an absolute joke. But it's going to be quite interesting how Premier League teams, or any team for that matter, copes with that. But anyway, for another time, I can do it another time. Acid joke. It will come down to self-policing, sensible fans telling the stupid fans to leave it out. I somehow don't think. Yeah, depends on who those fans that did it are. Darren, a happy hammer. I hope you're well. Yep, blah blah blah. Adam, good show still. Thank you very much. Yep, thank you all to you. I've got to go. I really have, because it is my lunchtime, and some people have work to do, even though it's from home. But hey, work is work. Much appreciated. There's a show tonight with Ian Bishop. Do look out for that. And for the members, by the way, I don't know if you've even seen it. I did a members show the other day asking your opinion about the channel. Really like to know if there are any members here. I'm sure there are one or two. If there are any members here, go into the members area of YouTube and look out for the video that I did. I've asked a number of questions about the channel, about our our shows, and what you like, what you don't like, and how we can improve, we can do things differently. I've asked about things like the music, the intros, are they too long? I've asked about all the images. I've asked about the show. Do you like the West Ham Weekly being on for 3 hours? Do you like, should we do more daily? Should we do more this, more the other? Should we do less of something? So do go in and have a look at that brief show for members only. And I promise you, if you're not members yet, you should become members so you can reply to the video. Otherwise, I will do maybe something a little bit different for more general use after I've got feedback from the members, and then we'll maybe do something more generally. The show's great. The channel's great, apart from still always being late. I know. Well, look, thank you all. I've really got to go. Have a great lunch. If you've already had your lunch, I hope you enjoyed your lunch. I'm not going to tell you how to bake cakes. So see you all very soon.